Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're going exploring the world of Web3, Fintech, and AI. It's really all converging right now. We thought it'd be a perfect time to jump in and take a look.
Yeah, it's all happening so fast.
It is.
It really is.
And we've got this Web 3.0, Fintech and DeFi for Asia newsletter that we're going to be pulling from for this deep dive. And by the end, you should be able to really spot the opportunities and the potential risks out there.
Definitely a lot of both.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right in. We've got Bitcoin hitting a record high of $100,000, more than double its value from the beginning of the year.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. And, it's interesting because it's not just some random surge. Part of it seems to be fueled by Donald Trump's reelection and his proposed national Bitcoin reserve.
Yeah.
So it seems like governments are starting to kind of recognize the potential of cryptocurrency, but it also raises these questions about, the future of decentralization.
Right. It was supposed to be this independent anti-establishment system.
Exactly.
And now we've got governments wanting to get involved. What do you think this means for the long-term future of crypto?
It's hard to say, but it's definitely creating this tension between these decentralized ideals that crypto was founded on and the more centralized nature of traditional finance.
Right.
So it'll be really interesting to see how this tension plays out.
Yeah.
But, it's not just about Bitcoin. Asia is really emerging as this major hub for all things crypto.
Yeah, the newsletter highlights some really interesting moves over there, like Hong Kong's ZA Bank, their biggest digital bank, is now letting users directly buy and sell Bitcoin and Ether.
Yeah, that's huge for mainstream adoption.
It is. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And then Coinbase is launching stable coins pegged to the Thai baht and the Philippine peso, aiming for, faster and cheaper transactions in those regions.
Yeah, stablecoins are an interesting development because they offer the stability of traditional currencies,
Right.
but operate on the blockchain, which could bridge the gap between traditional finance and DeFi.
Right. And for those listening who might not know, DeFi stands for decentralized finance. And it's basically this whole financial ecosystem built on blockchain technology that aims to cut out the middleman and give people more control over their money.
Exactly.
But as DeFi and stablecoins are gaining traction, regulators are trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, definitely. Ripple had to actually delay their stablecoin launch because they're waiting for regulatory approval. And then you've got Tether, the biggest stablecoin issuer. They're reportedly teaming up with Cantor Fitzgerald to support their Bitcoin lending program. And then on the regulatory front, Brazil is considering a ban on withdrawing stablecoins to self-custody wallets.
Wow, so that would really restrict users from having full control over their assets.
Yeah, it would definitely be a big change.
So it's this constant balancing act between innovation and regulation.
Yeah, you've got all this exciting new technology, but then you also have to worry about the risks.
Right. Speaking of risks, remember that massive hack of Japan's DMM Bitcoin?
Oh, yeah.
They lost $305 million.
Yeah, and they ended up shutting down.
Huge reminder that security is still a major concern in this space.
For sure, especially as more institutional players are getting involved.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we're also seeing these major partnerships emerge. Like MasterCard and JP Morgan are joining forces on blockchain-based B2B payments.
Interesting. So you've got this mix of exciting progress and then these cautionary tales as well. But the innovation continues.
It does.
Binance is jumping into on-chain yields with Bitcoin staking. Crypto.com snagged a MasterCard license to launch cards in Bahrain. Every week, it seems like there's something new pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
And then on the regulatory side, you've got Hong Kong unveiling their stablecoins bill and China clarifying that while individuals can own crypto, businesses can't use it. Seems like they're really trying to control the narrative there.
It does.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Court of Appeals overturned sanctions on Tornado Cash, which is a privacy-focused cryptocurrency mixer that was accused of facilitating money laundering.
Right. Yeah, it was a big win for the privacy advocates.
It was. And it highlights this ongoing debate about how to balance these security concerns with privacy rights.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It is. It's tough.
There's no easy answers.
Yeah, it seems like everyone is kind of trying to figure out their own approach to this whole thing.
Yeah, it's like this global regulatory puzzle. Everyone's trying to find their place.
Exactly. So Hong Kong is trying to attract these crypto hedge funds with tax breaks, while Australia's ASIC is asking for feedback on updated digital asset guidelines.
Right. And then the UAE's ADGM introduced their own stablecoin framework,
Okay.
while Singapore and China are working together on digital asset and AI supervision.
Wow. And we've got Trump picking Paul Atkins to head the SEC,
Right.
which some say could make the U.S. a bit more crypto-friendly.
We'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. Meanwhile, the UAE is clarifying regulations for crypto in their free zones, and Hong Kong is launching grants for digital bond issuance.
It really is constantly changing.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. Australia is setting up a task force to go after those non-compliant crypto ATMs. And India is looking into tax evasion in the crypto industry.
And Russia just approved a new crypto tax law.
So we're seeing this global shift towards regulating crypto, but with totally different approaches.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so beyond crypto, there's a lot happening in fintech too.
Oh, yeah.
Hong Kong's fintech sector is booming, growing by 15%, and MUFG is acquiring Japan's robo-advisor WealthNavi.
And Singapore is phasing out corporate checks, going more towards e-payments.
Interesting.
Seems like they're really pushing for that cashless society.
Yeah, and the Asian Development Bank is partnering with MasterCard to help out small and medium-sized businesses in Asia and the Pacific.
That's great.
It is. It's a major initiative for the region. And fintech is really making financial services more accessible and efficient.
It is.
In India, ForApay launched Shield to make those UPI payments more secure, which is a big deal over there. And finally, Samsung Pay is launching in the UAE.
Wow, so many innovations all the time.
I know it's hard to keep track. Commercial Bank International is partnering with Ariba to boost fintech payments in the UAE. And OVO is introducing HSBC FlexiPay to make green tech more affordable.
So cool. These trends are totally reshaping traditional finance.
They are. It's becoming more digital, personalized, and responsive to what people actually need.
Yeah, it's really amazing to see technology driving this change.
It is. Australia is investing in Singapore's FastP to push Southeast Asia's clean energy transition, and an Egyptian billionaire launched Monify.
What's that?
It's a digital business news platform just for Gen Z.
Wow, the pace of change is incredible.
I know. And then there's AI. China now has something like 230 million generative AI users.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's huge. Alibaba Cloud is revamping its AI partner initiative, and Hitachi launched its GenAI Ops framework for AI in finance.
AI is definitely becoming a key driver of innovation in this whole financial sector.
It is. It's so powerful for risk management, fraud detection, creating personalized services.
Yeah, the potential is huge.
Yeah, it is. NVIDIA is actually showcasing AI's role in financial services at Money 2020 USA. And Saudi Arabia is planning to invest $100 billion in AI.
Wow.
So it's not just a future concept anymore.
Right, it's here.
It's here, and it's being integrated into everything.
Man, it's only going to get bigger.
Okay, so let's move on to the metaverse NFTs. And Web 3.0 Nike actually shut down its metaverse fashion company, RTFKT.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, Van Way released a report highlighting how the metaverse could impact the securities industry.
So it seems like the metaverse is still finding its footing,
Yeah.
but the potential is still there.
Yeah. India is emerging as a potential Web3 leader,
Mm-hmm.
and Animoca Brands raised $10 million for its Metaverse project.
Interesting. So there's still a lot of excitement for this stuff.
Yeah, despite some setbacks, Thomson Computing launched the world's first Web3 laptop.
Oh, cool.
But there have been casualties too. Kraken shut down its NFT marketplace.
It's a tough market for sure.
Yeah, you got to be aware of the risks. So with all this innovation and change happening so fast, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, the biggest one is that this convergence of Web3, fintech, and AI, it's happening now.
Yeah, it's not the future.
Yeah.
It's now.
It's reshaping the financial landscape, and it's impacting all of our lives.
It's mind-blowing how much has changed even in just the last few years.
I know, it's crazy. We've got Bitcoin at record highs, Asia embracing crypto regulators trying to figure it all out, and AI becoming essential in financial services.
Yeah, it's crucial for everyone to be aware of these trends, even if you're not, directly involved in crypto or fintech.
Exactly, because ultimately it's going to affect everyone.
How we bank, how we invest, even how we use the internet.
Exactly. So understanding these trends can help you make better decisions about your finances and your future.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, especially in a world that's changing so quickly.
It really is. What other key insights should our listeners keep in mind?
Yeah, it's really important to be discerning and critical when navigating this whole space.
Yeah. There's a lot of hype and speculation and even outright scams out there.
Yeah, you really have to do your research, be cautious, and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Exactly. But despite the risks, there's also this immense potential for positive change.
Yeah.
These technologies could make financial services more accessible, transparent, and efficient.
Right, and empower individuals.
Yeah, and level the playing field in a lot of ways.
It's a fascinating time to be alive, witnessing all this unfold.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, listener? What stands out to you the most?
Yeah, we'd love to hear your perspective.
And before we wrap up, we wanted to highlight one more trend from the newsletter,
Yeah.
the rise of Web3 in India. It seems like they have the potential to become a major player.
Oh, definitely. India has a huge tech-savvy population.
Right.
And the government has been pretty supportive of blockchain technology. Plus, they have a really strong entrepreneurial spirit.
And they have tons of talented developers.
Yeah, which is key for building the infrastructure for a thriving Web3 ecosystem.
It is.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing a lot of investment going into Indian Web3 startups.
It's exciting to see.
It is. So, listener, what do you think? Do you see India becoming a leader in Web3? What do you see happening over there?
Yeah, what opportunities and challenges do you think they'll face?
We encourage you to explore this further and see what you find.
Definitely.
Well, it's been an incredible deep dive exploring these innovations and transformations happening in the world of finance and technology.
Yeah, the convergence of Web3, Fintech, and AI, it's creating this landscape that's exciting and complex and full of potential.
Yeah, we're seeing these traditional systems being challenged, new possibilities emerging. The lines between the physical and digital worlds are blurring.
It really does feel like we're on the edge of a whole new era.
Yeah, it is. And it's a little bit daunting.
It is, but it's also exhilarating. It's a time for exploration, experimentation, bold leaps forward.
Yeah.
It's a time to challenge assumptions, embrace new ideas, and maybe even play a role in shaping this new world.
I love that takeaway for our listeners.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the complexity. Embrace the opportunity to learn, explore, maybe even become a part of this transformation.
Exactly. Stay curious, ask questions, and don't be afraid to dive in and experiment. Who knows? You might discover the next big thing in Web3 fintech or AI.
Yeah, or even if you don't, just the journey of discovery itself is rewarding.
That's the beauty of learning, always seeking new knowledge, pushing the boundaries.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Until next time, keep exploring. Stay curious and embrace the future.